Okay, let's look at number 3. All right, this is a review set 2a. We've got a generic function f of x, which is equal to ax plus b, which means it's a line because ax plus b is the same as mx plus b. So we know a is the slope and b is the y-intercept. I remember we did this in class, and I think Christina was like, hey, we could just like plot 2 points and find the slope. Because what this means, these little guys on the right here are telling you f of 1 is 7. In other words, when you stick 1 in, 7 comes out. So it's kind of like 1 and 7. These are 2 points. And is that a 3? My 3's not very good. Yeah, that's a 3. And then 3 goes with -5. But let's do it the way I think the way they're intending us to do it. I think they want us to set up, because you could just like do this and you could plot those 2 points and then figure out the slope. But let's not do it that way. Let's do it the way where you create 2 equations. So you're going to say f of 1 is 7. So when x is 1, y is f of 1 is 7. F of x is 7. In other words, it's like this: a times 1 plus b. So that's one equation. Do you see that? This is when you put 1 in for x, 7 comes out. And then when you put 3 in for x, -5 comes out. See, I like doing it this way. This is, I think, more methodical. And then hopefully by doing this one, you can try to do number 11. So let's try now. You have 2 equations and you have 2 unknowns, a and b. And so you have a system of equations. So you have different options. You could do a substitution method, or you could do combination method, or I don't know if they call it elimination. You call it elimination. So I'm going to eliminate because the b's you can eliminate right off. So I'm going to just basically subtract the whole bottom from the top. So that negative will go here. That'd be positive, so that'll become 12. That would be -3a, and positive a, that's going to be -2a. Right? I'm putting the 2 in front, the 3a, right? And then the negative being the positive b, the b's are going to cross off. So I know right away a is going to be divided both sides by -2. A is going to be -6. And then once I get a, I can find b, because 7 equals -6 plus b. So b has to equal 13. And I think it wanted me to find a and b. So a is -6, b is 13. Let me check that, make sure that's right. I'm going on the book. 3. -6, 13. Yes, good. It's good. So now try to do the next problem. That's a little bit trickier, right? Number 11. Because the only thing they did for in number 11 is they still had the same thing. F of x equals ax plus b. And they said f of 2 is equal to 1. But then they didn't tell us, then they gave us the inverse, -1, of 3 equals 4. So what I'm going to have to do is, I'm going to have to find what's the inverse of a of x plus b. And before I can stick that in there. So think about that one. That's a little bit challenging. See if you can figure that out. Off the top of my head, I'm kind of like, wait a minute, how do you find the inverse of a function? Oh, I remember now. Remember how to find the inverse? You put y equals ax plus b, then you flip the x and the y around, and then you resolve it again. So then if you do all that, you'll get like a new equation, and then you can plug this in and do it just like it was before. So I'm going to leave that one. Try to do that. If you still get stuck, let me know, and I'll do it more to it.